But again, if you end up with a crooked ellipse, or if for whatever reason you want to do a box for which you don't see this edge but you see the front of the box, you change the view. Okay, instead of, let's say, this box, instead of this box being like this, where this edge is closer to the viewer, now it's like this. So this is the view that we have, yet still in 3-point. Then you would do the following. Let me just erase this. I'm going to do it right next to it, because you can perfectly combine the 1-point perspective view, even if you already did everything with your 2 points. Let's say you want a frontal view of a particular object. Okay, this is what you would do. Guys in the back, I need your attention, please. So, I'm still going to use the same 3-point. Okay, I'm just switching the view of the object, I'm twisting it around. I'm going to go a little bit faster. So just like when we did 1 point at the beginning of the quarter and we had a flat shape, remember? So this is the equivalent of that flat shape, except these lines connect to the 3rd point. But the top and bottom remain parallel with the horizon. Okay? So if this was our typical 1 point, we would have just a normal rectangle, right? But instead, we're tilting it a little bit because we're using the 3rd vanishing point. Okay? Now, we're going to put 1 temporary point just for this box. You can center it. And then do the same as we would normally do if this was 1 point. Then just eyeball where you want the other edge to go.
So you're creating another vantage point?
Yes, I'm combining 1 point with 3 point because I'm switching the view of the box. The way I taught 3 point was as if all of the objects, the edges of the objects, the corners of the objects are facing the viewer, but I'm changing the view, having a frontal view of the object, because that may happen. Okay, you'll see how this box will turn out. So after you decide where to put this horizontal line parallel with the horizon, okay, it's the same as if we did this, right? Then you would just drop these lines down, right, until they intersect with these lines, right? And we have this. This is your typical 1 point. So we're going to do the same right here, except for every vertical, we connect with the 3rd vanishing point down here. Okay, make sure you're using your 3rd vanishing point down there. And then your 1 point. And then your horizontal line. Erase any extra. Okay. So that's a box, and we're able to see the front as opposed to seeing two sides. So I'm combining 1 point with 3 point. Is that clear what I'm doing? The way I taught 3-point perspective, and it's usually how people make it, is combined with 2 point. But it gives you a view in which you see all the corners of the boxes. Okay, you're the viewer and you're seeing corners, corners, corners. But what if you wanted a frontal view? And that's why I'm teaching you how to combine. So again, I'm going to do it with this box. We learned it like this edge, and we see this side and this side. But what if you wanted a frontal view? Then that's how you do it. But yet, still in 3 point, where these vertical lines connect to the third vanishing point. Okay, so that's all we're doing. And the reason why I'm doing it like this, again, I think I already said it, it's a lot easier to draw an ellipse in the trapezoid shape as opposed to the diamond shape. It's just easier. Okay, you can still do it in the diamond shape, we did it, but it's a lot easier. And not only that, now you know that you can also change the view of the object and make it as in 1 point. Okay, so we're doing 2 for 1. And then we just do the same. The X, the cross. So we have the 4 outer points, a little over 2/3, so that you can find the 4 inner points. And this actually gives you a horizontal major axis, and it doesn't get as confusing. And you just do your ellipse, and you do the same on the top part. The X, the cross, 4 outer points, 2/3, a little over 2/3. You have your 4 inner points, just to guide you. You create your ellipse. And then this point connects with this point as well as the 3rd point. Okay. And like that. And that would be your cylinder. You erase what you don't need. All of this needs to go. Only this front edge stays. And we see the top edge. Questions?